I want to quickly talk to you about Lexington Capital, and this is actually a lender that does a lot of great things. And to this conversation, I want to do a quick review of their funding practices, their requirements, everything you need to know about Lexington Capital today. So let's first talk about Lexington Capital Holdings. What does the company really do? Well, if you think about Lexington Capital, I want you to think about a financial services company that focuses on helping business owners secure funding solutions for small and medium-sized businesses. So you are really talking to a an intermediary, so a middleman, because Lexington is not really a direct lender. Okay, think of it as a marketplace where you have a network of lenders that come to actually help you out. So when you apply to Lexington Capital, they actually will dispatch your info to a series of partner lenders who are ready to help businesses like yours. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And the company is based actually in Brookhaven, New York, and they do a lot of great work. They have about 35 alternative lenders and also 20 different national banks, regional banks, and credit unions. So you have approximately 55 to 60 partner lenders who can really take care of you. Now, the thing is that if you have a less than perfect credit history, Lexington Capital could be the place for you to really apply for a business loan, for a business line of credit, for equipment financing, for startup funding. They do a lot of stuff, okay? Simply because they have so many diverse lenders, really is great because you are able to get approved no matter what, okay? And one thing I want to say also is that you are able to, when you talk to Lexington Capital, you are talking to a lender, or let's say a marketplace that specializes in working with businesses that may not qualify for conventional loans, including startups and companies with less than perfect credit histories. I'll talk about the different products very soon, so you know exactly what kind of products I'm talking about. Okay. But the bottom line here is that you can be approved real fast. You can be approved within 24 hours. But if your application requires more checking, or let's say, or you're looking for a large loan amount, that will probably take you 1 week to actually get funded. But hey, listen, it's still worth it anyway. So if you are wondering what Lexington Capital Holdings actually can do for you, I want you to really understand that they do offer a lot of things. Okay, and so they actually provide traditional business loans, but also alternative business loans. So that's kind of cool. But because they are a network of lenders, they are able to actually accommodate all kinds of small business owners. So you have a business term loans, you have equipment financing, you have lines of credit, and you have startup funding. So when it comes to business term loans, you are looking at a maximum of $1 million. Okay, $1 million that Lexington Capital can actually accommodate for you. You can use the cash and $1 million over 7 years. Now, the final terms and conditions will depend on the lender that actually is going to underwrite your business loan. Okay, some lenders want you to have 5 years, some want you to have 7 years, but it's just you have an average of 5 to 7 years, really. So that's for business term loans. You also can qualify for equipment financing through Lexington Capital Holdings. For equipment financing, they will go all the way to $5 million. $5 million. The reason why they can go that high is because equipment financing generally is collateralized funding. In other words, the equipment used in the cash to buy actually will serve as collateral. Okay, so the Lexington Capital partner lender will hold the title to the equipment until you pay the amount due. You also have a line of credit. Okay, so Lexington Capital allows you to really access a predetermined amount of funds that can be drawn upon as needed. So this flexible access to a financing option allows you to manage cash flow fluctuations, cover unexpected expenses, and seize growth opportunities without having to apply for a new loan every time. Okay, and the maximum here is $1 million, so that's really good. $1 million. And finally, you also have a startup funding. So Lexington Capital will give you the cash you need if you are a startup, which is really rare because not a lot of banks, not a lot of lenders, not a lot of credit unions will work with you if you are a startup. But the Lexington will actually work with you, not a problem. Okay, but they will give you a maximum of 500,000. So if you are a startup, don't expect to have a 1 million maximum. But hey, listen, as a startup, 500,000 is already good anyway. You can do a lot of stuff with that money. So if you are thinking about Lexington Capital Holdings, I want you to think about a marketplace, a lender network that allows you to also have to apply for SBA loans. Okay, so you are able to fund various needs such as working capital, equipment purchases, or even expansion of your business. And what happens here is that the SBA will guarantee the loan, and that makes it more accessible to your business if for any reason you don't qualify for traditional bank loans. Okay, and Lexington Capital Holdings works closely with you to navigate the application process and secure the necessary financing to support your growth and success. So the cool thing is that Lexington will send the application to its network of lenders, including banks and credit unions, and will make sure that they follow up on the process to make sure you get funded real fast. You also have accounts receivable financing. Okay, you can have that through Lexington Capital Holdings. The maximum here, there's no maximum. The maximum depends on the value of the underlying accounts receivable, how much you are bringing to the table. Okay, you also have asset-based lending. This is kind of similar to equipment financing, even though in this case asset can be also inventory. Okay, so you have that through Lexington Capital Holdings. They also take care of co-signer funding. So basically, they offer funding solutions that allow, let's say, a friend or a family member, or even a colleague, or let's say somebody in your entourage, to co-sign in order to secure a small business loan. So you are able to have more flexibility. And also, Lexington Capital Holdings allows you to actually have working capital. So working capital, it's really important in some cases if you want to cover day-to-day operational expenses. Okay, and so you're able to get approved real fast. And but you also need to remember that this kind of loan wants you to really repay it real fast too. Okay, and one thing I want to say here also is that you have the variety of loans that Lexington Capital Holdings bring to the table. That should be really, really helpful to you to say, you know what, with this lender, you have a lot of flexibility. Now let's talk about qualifications here. So if you want to really qualify for a Lexington Capital Holding business funding process, there are a couple of things you need to really think about. Okay. Now Lexington Holding doesn't publish minimum qualifications for any of its loan products. The only way to determine eligibility is to actually apply. Okay, and but usually their eligibility criteria are very flexible. Okay, they'll work with you if you have bad credit. They will work with you if you are a startup. So let's say your operational history is very limited, they will still work with you. Okay, so they will look at your revenue. They'll look at, in some cases, collateral, the worth of the collateral. Like for instance, if you're thinking about equipment financing, or let's say asset-based financing, or even accounts receivable financing, the value of the underlying collateral will always be there as a quintessential element. Okay, so that's really an important element. Now, one thing I need to say here is that because Lexington Capital Holdings is not a direct lender, just be aware. I think I've said this before, but I need to really emphasize that your data, your business data, could be actually dispatched to several lenders. And those lenders, unfortunately, once you're over with the whole application process, the lenders still have your data, and they will actually, some may call you to actually solicit you for other businesses, other business funding programs. So this is actually something you need to really be aware of. Okay, and also you have to understand that basically Lexington Capital Holdings does not really have a transparent process. So you have no idea, like what the whole process goes through. They just have for you a series of financing programs. Okay, But if you are interested in a specific financing program, you have to really start the process and either have a hard pull or a soft pull. And then at that time, you will see the conditions. You will see how much they will charge you in terms of APR. You will see how much they are really setting up for you when it comes to repayment window. Like if you are going for an installment loan, okay, then you will see how much you will qualify for in terms of repayment window. So you have to really go through the process. That's just the bottom line. So how do you apply to a Lexington Capital Holdings? Well, the thing is that just go to the site first, okay? The site is pretty straightforward. The UX user experience and user friendly. I mean, the user interface is pretty friendly, user friendly, okay? But so everything starts from there. So visit the company's website. You just need to complete the initial form, and it will take you about 2 to 3 minutes to actually go through the form. But they'll ask you a basic questions. They don't ask for your social security number though, so they're not going to check your credit or anything like that unless it's needed. Actually, way down in the process in the underwriting process, okay? But they'll ask you things like how long you have been in business, what kind of industry you're in, where you were at, like the location. They'll ask you, for instance, what kind of legal structure you have. Are you a reg like, are you quote unquote a normal business like an S corporation, a C corporation, an LLC, or some kind of something similar? Because they will not work with you if you have, let's say, if you are a nonprofit or you are a sole proprietorship. So just be aware of that. Lexington Capital is not going to work with you in those under those conditions. So you complete the online form. You work with a relationship manager. So Lexington Holdings will assign to you a relationship manager who will get to know your business and help you select the best option. Okay, because again, they will look at the available funding offers and the price of each option. As I said to you, with Lexington, you have all kinds of offers. You have business term loans, equipment financing, lines of credit, startup funding options, SBA loans, AR financing, asset-based lending, co-signer funding, and working capital. So once you're funded, that's the third step. You should be good to go, okay? And one thing I want to say also is that make sure that you link a business checking account to Lexington. That way, you are able just to pay them every single month and not make the whole process a hassle. Okay, make it easy for you. They'll make it easy for you too. Okay, and so they'll actually fund your account within 24 hours once you're approved. 24 hours. Let me talk to you about the advantages and disadvantages of working with Lexington Capital Holdings. Okay. First of all, you have to understand that they provide both traditional and alternative business loan options, catering to different needs and preferences. So that's kind of cool. Okay. And they do have competitive interest rates. So you are able to actually get funding, okay, without breaking the bank. Why? Because they have about 55 to 65 partner lenders, and those lenders are diverse, okay? So that's for sure. You'll find a funding solution that works for your business. And they also have excellent customer service, and they provide support and guidance throughout the loan process. So they don't just assign to you a relationship manager. They'll also make sure that once you are funded, that you are being taken care of in terms of customer service. Okay. So those are the top three advantages when it comes to working with Lexington Capital Holdings. What are the disadvantages? Well, one thing for sure, there is no transparency. I think I've said this to you before. When it comes to the loan details and qualifications, you do have a complete lack of transparency, and this is something that Lexington should be working on. Okay, because right now, simply because they have this lack of transparency, the whole process becomes, like, let's say, overly complicated, unnecessarily complicated. Okay, if you want to apply, you have to ask yourself whether or not you will qualify. Now, as a younger player in the small business financing industry, Lexington Capital Holdings may not have the same level of experience or track record as more established lenders. Okay, and this could potentially lead to higher interest rates with alternative business loans. Additionally, basically, if you don't meet the stringent requirements of traditional lenders, you're not going to get your cash. And during the process, they don't really tell you up front, but yeah, approval is not guaranteed. I mean, when it comes to a loan in general, approval is not guaranteed. Even if you have the right cash flow and cash inflow and cash outflow a picture, you may not qualify. And again, you don't know those things beforehand. So when you think about Lexington Capital Holdings this year, I want you to really understand that this is actually this company might be young, might be relatively young, but it is a legit platform. It is not a direct lender. Okay, you are looking at a business lending platform such as LendU or such as NBC, National Business Capital. Okay, they have about 250 trust pilot reviews, and so they have garnered 4.9 out of 5 stars. So that's really good. People love the fact that they have a great customer service, but they also give you they give you increased access to capital. Okay, and one thing I want to say also is that the important element becomes your relationship manager. So at Lexington Capital, your relationship manager is going to help you big time. Just not only get the loan, but also afterwards. Okay, and if for any reasons Lexington Capital Holdings denies you, you have a lot of possibilities. Remember that because they are not a direct lender, some of their partner lenders may not like your application. Those things happen. It is what it is. So maybe your credit score, your business financials, your transactional volume, or the requested loan amounts actually did not really fit the needs. Okay. So if you are actually declined, you can actually apply elsewhere. Okay. Just remember that you have to make sure that whatever your finances are actually match the kind of loan that you're getting. In other words, if you're getting $1 million loan, but you're only generating 3,000 or 2,000 in revenue, you're not going to be able to qualify, right? So make sure that you can really apply in a way that your cash inflows and cash outflows match, or at least match in a certain way. Okay, that way you know that you will have some kind of cushion to actually apply for the loan, but also pay whatever you owe. So that's really important from a flexibility point of view. And one thing I want to say also is that basically, if you don't qualify for the loan that you get through that you want through Lexington Capital, try another loan. Maybe you don't qualify for the business line of credit. You might want to try invoice factoring. You might want to try revenue based loans. You might want to try SBA loans. You might want to try working capital loans. So just be a little flexible, okay, to increase your chances of approval. As a takeaway to this conversation, I spoke to you about Lexington Capital Holdings. This was a review of this lender, or this lender marketplace, if you will. I explained to you what they do, how they work, what kind of loans they actually offer, what are the qualifications for for you to get the loan, what are the pros and cons, the advantages and the disadvantages. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.